So I'm sitting here with Mr. Langston Falk, and we're going to be answering questions about defeating the odds. So my first question, Mr. Falk, is, first of all, how are you?
I'm doing good.
Good. What odd did you have to defeat?
One of the odds that I had to defeat is myself. I felt as though my mentality has always had kind of like a victim or a less than mentality. I always tell people I'm too humble. And so having to just break through those walls of the mental aspect of like, no, I'm worthy, I'm enough, I can do this, why not me? That's some odds that I feel like I have to break through. And that's something that I constantly have to break through, you know, because we live in a world of social media where we post all of our highlights. But I'm okay with, now I'm okay with letting people see the struggle sometimes, because I like to make people feel comfortable. And I think humanizing myself allows me to actually break through and resonate with people through their own struggles, because we all struggle with something. And I think sometimes when people try to hide their struggles, it makes them seem like they're superheroes in a sense, but the reality is superheroes, they do have to relax and recharge. So beating my mental odds would probably be something that I say I've beat.
Okay. So the next question is, how did you persevere and overcome the odds?
Prayer. That's number one. A lot of prayer. I mean, without God, I am nothing, but with God, I am everything. And so for me, it started off with prayer, surrounding myself with a great support system, whether it's family members or friends, and sometimes strangers. I have great mentors that have helped along the way as well. Doing the work, being in solitude, just being by myself and actually sitting back and observing more than anything else. And it takes time, and it's a journey. It's not a one-stop destination. It's a journey. Some seasons you're gonna feel great, some seasons you're not. So just for me, it was all about surrounding myself with the right people and prayer. That would probably be the main two things.
Okay. What steps did you take to succeed despite all of the circumstances?
This first step I would probably say I did was identifying who I was at that moment, and then identifying who I wanted to be, and bridging the gap in between, and writing down those things. And writing down is super, super important, but also just talking to yourself, like sitting down in a room by yourself, talking it out. Therapy, I definitely have attended therapy in the past, so that was a step that I took towards becoming a better Langston and defeating some of those struggles that I've had. Honestly, getting involved in other extracurricular activities, not really being so boxed into only my thoughts of certain things. So being around kids has helped as well, because kids have a different way of thinking, this new generation. And so for me, just being around diversity has helped me. So I would probably say definitely just diversifying myself, putting myself in situations that were uncomfortable for me. Definitely, as I mentioned, just opening myself up to different things gave me that step, and definitely therapy.
And I want to speak on that a little bit, because in the Black society, most people, therapy is taboo to them.
Yeah, therapy. I've actually done therapy. This is my third time going through therapy, and no, I don't suffer with depression or anxiety, but it was just one of those things where I want to go to somebody that just would give me a non-biased opinion, not a family member, not a friend, somebody that was skilled. You know, we may talk to our family members or friends, but the reality is they didn't go to school for that. You know, and so with therapy for me, it was an opportunity for somebody to tell me, no, you're wrong, or keep doing that. And so, but it was coming from a place of I see something that other people may not see. Right. And just asking the right questions. That's the one thing that I would say about therapy, is that therapists know how to ask the questions that's going to pull certain things out of you, and you have to do the work. Right. You have to journal. I journal pretty much at least 2 or 3 times a week, and I can't state it enough. Prayer, like literally prayer. I think over the past probably 3 to 5 years, my relationship with God has went from good to great. And that's important to me. So it doesn't matter where I'm at, what I'm doing, whether it's in my personal life or professional life, whoever I'm around, they're gonna know that God is number one in my life because He's been too good to me for me not to say that. And why would I deny the person who gave me life?
Absolutely, absolutely. Okay, did the obstacles you defeated allow you to figure out and understand who you are?
Oh yes, and I'm still trying to figure out who I am because we constantly evolve. Through different seasons, we're growing and getting stronger in certain areas. Then there's areas where we actually get weaker in. Certain areas we get triggered in, and I think that's the part of healing that most people don't dig deeper into. They think because you went to therapy, you're healed. Well, a year later, something may happen that may trigger you. You may revert back to those same ways, but now you have the tools and the strength to overcome it quicker. And so I would say, yeah, like all my struggles have allowed me to be who I am today. And the struggles will keep coming. I'm a lot more confident than I used to be. I talk a lot more. I used to be very much so an introvert, but I talk too much now. So I definitely say, yeah, my struggles have allowed me to grow into the 39-year-old man that I am. I still feel 25, but
you still look 25. So
right?
that's a good thing.
yeah.
Okay, so my next question is, how long did it take you to find your purpose or your potential?
I would probably say, I'm 39. I would probably say probably 5 to 7 years ago, I realized what my purpose was. And I realized through being diverse and actually exposing myself to various things, through coaching basketball, that allowed me to see what my purpose was. My job allowed me to see, working in higher ed, that allowed me to see what my purpose was. And even through my own company, Iconic Brand, that really solidified what my purpose really is on this earth. And my purpose is to encourage, my purpose is to be the person that I needed when I was younger and growing up, and even as a young adult, to be that person. So regardless if it makes me uncomfortable or not, I try to help out as many people as possible. I try to encourage you. I will find a positive in every negative situation. And that's important to me because you want to tell people the truth and say, hey, these are the consequences. But if you say it in a positive way, like, hey, these are the consequences, but these are some steps you can take to overcome those consequences or avoid those consequences, I think it's better than, oh, I wouldn't do that.
Right.
It is the tone and how you say things. So for me, just trying to be that positive influence in making people realize, a shameless plug, that they are iconic.
At any point in your journey, did you feel defeated? If yes, how did you overcome the feeling of defeat, and what did you do to win the battle?
Yes, I've had some defeats, and I feel like how I overcame it really started with walking in my purpose. I think that was my weapon. When I realized that I do have a gift, that my gift of bringing people together, I realized that can change lives by bringing people together, because you never know who you're bringing together. One of my quotes that I live by is two actually, and it is the motto for my company. One is by Andy Warhol, and he says, the goal may not be to live forever, but to create something that will. So for me, it's all about creating value. So anytime I meet with somebody or just in their presence, I want to leave them with value, whether it's a word, whether it's how to carry yourself. I just want to leave people with value. And the second quote is by a great philosopher. And he says, I may not change the world, but I guarantee I'll spark the brain that will. Tupac Shakur. I had to call him a great philosopher. And those quotes are important to me because I may not change the world. I may not be able to do it I know I can't do it by myself.
Right.
But if I leave that person with value, they can go out and they can make a difference. And it's just a domino effect. I think that if we all can break down a wall or drop a domino by adding value to somebody else's life and allow them to grow and change and be better, then we've all changed the world in some capacity. We may not do it 100%, But if I put 5%, if I change the world 5% in some way, form, or fashion, and maybe not even the world, maybe in my community, maybe it's just even in my job, just breaking it down and changing my environment, I feel as though I've actually done my part. And so for me, I think walking in my purpose was how I defeated all my struggles, and realizing that the struggles that I went through, even from high school to being a young man, now a man, I guess, it took me all those years to realize what that purpose was. So when I realized that, it really defeated things from back in when I was in high school or when I was 21 and things of that nature. So yeah, I would definitely say it was walking in my purpose was my weapon.
So, and I'm gonna touch on a question that I don't have here because you speak on that, and this will help a lot of young people. Walking in your purpose, did that make you change the people you hang out with, your surroundings of the people that you allow in your space? Did that change anything?
What's funny is that I'm gonna say no, and I say that because I've always kept my circle small. And so the people who are around me, they're typically family members, and then I do have a few friends, but I've never had a group so big to where it's like people would drop off. And I think the beautiful thing about my circle was that we're all striving for something.
Right.
So I never really had what I would say.
But you touched on what I wanted you to touch on, because the people that you surround yourself with all have a vision.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
That's what I wanted you to touch on.
Yeah, who you surround yourself with is important.
Right.
It's definitely important. I've had people that I've called associates that have dropped off, but not somebody that I've let inside here.
Right.
You probably touch here, but you never got inside my heart and then we stopped talking, or we're not friends no more. We never got to that point. And that's just gonna happen. That's gonna happen in life. That's why you have to be mindful of who you give that title of friend to.
Right.
Because people come and people go. Reality, Because one thing I will always say is, and people, they can claim that they don't. We're human. We all get jealous. We all have insecurities. And sometimes people are jealous of your success at a certain time. I've been jealous of some of my friends who I know they didn't have to work hard for it, but success just landed in their lap. Yeah. And I'm like, man, I'm working hard for this, and it just landed in y'all lap. Y'all parents giving y'all, helping y'all with this and that. I mean, I've had that, so yeah, I'm jealous of it. I mean, I can say that, but you can have a feeling of jealousy, you can have a feeling of insecurity. It's all about your reaction.
Absolutely.
So if you react to that, that's different.
Right.
But I'm human, so I'm gonna feel jealous. I'm gonna feel insecure about certain things. So.
Right. Okay, so my next question is: would you say that race has proven to have the odds stacked against you when it pertains to economic opportunity?
Thankfully, no. For me personally.
Right.
And I've said this many of times, because of how I look, I don't get the whole being judged or profiled or things. I don't look like a threat to some of the ethnicities or cultures. And so even from a work standpoint, professional standpoint, shall I say, I've never been in a position where it has hurt me. Money-wise, no, it really hasn't hurt me. I've gotten jobs that I've wanted. I haven't experienced racism, honestly. If I have experienced it, it wasn't blatant.
Right.
But I think it does have a factor. What plays a factor is I don't look like a threat, and I truly believe that you have to. This part's gonna be on YouTube. Let's say that we live in a world where we truly have to think about just getting home at night.
Yes.
And so I'm not gonna argue with the cop if you give me the ticket, let me go home.
Right.
This world we live in is a game. You gotta learn how to play it. It's unfortunate that you have to play it, but you don't think that people like Jay-Z, LeBron James, Barack Obama, that they had to play this game to get to the level that they're at?
Right.
You gotta play the game. You can't be all about, I have my rights, or I have, take self out of it and realize that you have a family that would miss you. You have kids that would probably miss you. Sometimes you can't win the battle right now. And what I'll say is, let them win the battle, because eventually we're going to win the war.
Right.
Because they, when I say they, I'm just talking about people in general. Once again, going biblical, when they get to them gates, that's on them. God will remember that. At the end of the day, we may be hurting as a culture here on earth with racism, but God will remember all that when they get to them gates. You may not ever see, but or you don't know what's going on in their life, what's happening in their life. So I always believe that it's gonna come back. They went in from a law standpoint, laws that were made way before we were even born, that obviously people are just scared to kind of change. But just get home at night. Just on the movie Friday, John Witherspoon, the dad, he said something. It's like, you live to fight another day. Just live to fight another day. You know, don't be so prideful that you do something stupid. You know,
Right.
so.
I mean, I will say I probably get more discrimination from my own race. Yeah, I do.
I don't want to say this on camera, so if you cut this one out, man, us as black folks, we're haters sometimes. Like, so I understand what you're saying. Like, we hate on each other and we're at war against each other.
Mm-hmm.
And we're actually go above and beyond to make sure that the next African American doesn't come up. It's a battle that I don't think will ever change, because it's engulfed in our minds, and I think that we may not see it all the time, but the system is meant for us to fight against each other. That's how they have,
Yeah.
you know, like.
That's how they make money off of us.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and
They bait us against each other.
exactly, yeah.
So, my next question is, what would you tell the next young entrepreneur about defeating the odds? And what advice do you have to share?
I would tell
But I want you
them.
to grab that cap you flipped over.
Oh, my bad.
And just specifically because it just acts about entrepreneurship. And
Oh.
you know, there you go.
So
Shameless plug.
shameless plug. Yeah. So I would say, stay consistent. That's the number one thing. Stay consistent and believe in yourself and believe in your product. You're going to have those days where you don't believe in it, because you're going to have to let go of the comparison. You're going to have to let go of people telling you it's not going to work.
Mm-hmm.
You have to let go of the thoughts that just because you got 10 likes and somebody else got 60 likes, that your product or your service is not good enough.
Right.
You know, I started Iconic Brand the idea started in December 2017. That's when it came to my mind. I didn't print out my first shirts until November of 2018. And so I would kind of say from November 2018 until now, July 2023, have I made progress? Yeah. Some people would think I'm way ahead than where I actually am, but I stay consistent. I never make things about money. That's probably one of my downfalls. I don't make things about money, because the purpose of Iconic Brand is not really to make money. It's to change lives.
Right.
And you can't put a price on somebody's life. You can't put a price on giving somebody advice or motivating and encourage them to go accomplish their dreams and their goals. Because once they accomplish their dreams and their goals, it's like that's more valuable than me getting $25 for a t-shirt. You know,
Right.
That's life being changed. So I would say stay consistent, never compare, and be authentic. And I think the being authentic is probably one of the strongest out of the three, because we sometimes try to be who we're not.
Mm-hmm.
And I do this on purpose. I don't care what speaking engagement I go to, what interview I do, it doesn't matter. I'm gonna always say something about God. You know what I'm saying? And so I do that because I want people to understand that I am nothing without God.
Right.
That Iconic Brand is nothing without God, because I I didn't get this vision from myself. I got it from God. So you don't have, if you don't believe in God, you don't have to support me. That's fine. But I will let it be known that as a company, we believe in God. We are nothing without God, and God's gonna always be the foundation of our company at the end of the day. Period.
Absolutely. Okay, this is the last question. If there were any circumstances you can change, what would it be? And how would it have made a difference in how you defeated the odds?
I think the only thing that we really shouldn't live with regrets. But if there's one thing that I would change, I would probably say stepping out of my shell earlier in life.
Right.
I feel as though if I would have been more outgoing, more outspoken, more bold earlier in life, as in my 20s, I would probably be further along. But then once again, if you believe in God, you understand that timing is everything. And so I had to go through situations in order to push me to my boldness. I had to go through situations to push me to get out of my shell. So every situation is going to be, every situation allowed me to grow, to get to who I am right now. And so I can't say I regret anything, but I would just say I wish that I could have been more bolder, more getting out of my comfort zone at an earlier age. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, but when I met you, you were extremely shy.
Yeah. Extremely
shy.
And I still am shy. It's just one of those things where I'm like, okay.
You're more outspoken now, I think.
Definitely. Like I said, I think I talk too much.
So, out of all the questions I had, is there anything that I didn't ask that you would like to share?
I would probably say that I don't care if you're 5 years old, 10 years old, 25, 35, 50, 95, 75, it doesn't matter what age you are. Whatever dream, whatever goal that you have that's placed in your heart, in your mind, never believe that you're too old, too young to accomplish that. Always stay the course. Believe that you are there and in this moment for a reason. As cliche as it sounds, don't ever let nobody tell you what you can't do, because the impossible is possible. But always remember, your timing is probably not going to happen. It's always going to work on God's timing. And so I think I touched on everything. And so I always just say, be bold, be challenged, be different, just be iconic.
And there you have it, Mr. Falk. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Okay, today we are talking with Sebasky Scott, and we are going to discuss defeating the odds. How are you doing today?
I'm good. What about you?
I am absolutely amazing. My first question would be, what odd did you have to defeat?
The odds, business-wise?
Whatever you want to share.
I almost shared just business-wise.
There you go.
The odds of coming into business, not having the help that I needed.
Okay.
You go around and you ask for help from different people that have been in business for so long.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody wants to help you. I had a lot of people that helped me, but there's a lot to start that just didn't.
That didn't.
I had to find the right people.
Absolutely. Okay. How did you persevere and overcome those odds?
Man, just staying consistent in basically pursuing my goals.
Mm-hmm.
As long as you push to stay consistent at doing that and you're genuine to it, you will find the right people, and the right people will find you.
Right.
Because they see that you're that genuine into doing what you want. They'll help you. They'll take their shirt off their backs and give it to you.
Awesome. What steps did you take to succeed despite all of the circumstances?
Steps, man. First off, I let the games go,
Mm-hmm.
video games go at a young age, and I focused on exactly what I wanted to do.
Mm-hmm.
And when that happened, it allowed me to focus on making sure I was in the right line at the right time,
Mm-hmm.
getting licenses, the experience,
Mm-hmm.
networking with people. What else?
So, getting your licenses and networking with people, how did you find the right people to network with?
Be at the right place at the right time. I tell that to a lot of people. You can't do that enough. You be at the right place at the right time, the opportunities it won't just fall in your lap, but the opportunities will present itself more when you're at the right place at the right time. Just being with the right people in your circle. And those people in your circle will kind of feed off of what you have. You will feed off of what they have, and it turns into whatever it is.
Gotcha. Did the obstacles you defeated allow you to understand and figure out who you are?
Definitely made me find that I was a strong person. Strong person. Because the weak would have gave up like when it first started. The weak would have gave up when the first person would have told me, I can't help you. I can't help you. You would have just said, some people decide, I'm gonna try something else. Trying something else instead of pursuing what you've been wanting to do would take you away and take you off track. So that definitely made me figure out exactly who I was. And today, now I know all of what I have been, being a strong person in business, is allowing me to stay ahead.
How long did it take you to find your purpose or your potential?
That takes years. The purpose happens right then and there. You have a purpose for everything that you do. The potential, that's seen in other people. The potential is seen in other people. The other people see it in me, potential. And that's the reason why I had the support, because I deal with a lot of vendors. The vendors that I deal with, the electrical vendors, the construction vendors, they see my potential. So they basically open their doors for me due to the potential. So potential, it comes in time when other people see it in you. So seeing potential in myself is just within me. That's right after, finding your
niche.
No, yeah, that too.
So you and I had a conversation last week about when you first started and how you started and wanted to get your license. The person you were under saw some potential in you.
Yes. Yeah, because the specific person we may be talking about had a bunch of different people that he took under his wing to teach them. But I was told, I was like the only one that stuck with it. The only one. There's others that's doing it, but to take it to a certain level, I was the only one. And I still tell today, I know I'm the only one that has a state license.
At any point in your journey, did you feel defeated? If yes, how did you overcome the feeling of defeat, and what did you do to win the battle?
Defeated? I don't like to lose. I don't want to feel defeated. You can feel down at some point where you feel that it's some things you need to work on.
Discouraged, maybe?
Yeah, you can feel discouraged at times, which is fine. People do get discouraged certain stages. But whenever I see myself getting that way, I would sit back. Some days I'll just end the day early, just so I can sleep on it. I'll sleep on it, wake up the next day and hit it again. And it kind of helped me with, being discouraged. And it's like I can overcome it. When you hit on it another day, after some sleep, it works. Or after a week, sometimes you can't just jump back at it right away. Whenever you're feeling discouraged about a certain situation. So you just kind of have to take some steps back and just go after it in another direction.
Gotcha. Would you say that your race has proven to have the odds stacked against you when it pertains to economic opportunity?
It had some, because I've been in industries, the oil field, the electrical industry, construction industry. Everything that I do has a mixture of cultures.
Right.
And everything that I do is a mixture of culture, but it is also lopsided. But I never use it as if I felt that I seen people giving me issues due to my race or whatever, that's when you gotta show them how good you are.
Right.
Because once you do that, they'll start to accept you no matter what. I learned that. And it was rough, especially the oil field industry. It was rough at the start because, of course, we don't have the same opportunity right off the bat like others.
Right.
We have to work our way. Some others, I don't want to say it that way, but others, because I like everybody, others may come in the door with the opportunities right there.
Right.
Me personally, us, we may come in with the odds, against us until we show what we're about, until we prove who we are.
Right.
So that's the reason why we have to show our potential.
Right.
And how good we are, because once you do that, they're gonna accept you.
Right.
And once you accept it, just like what I had to deal with, once I was accepted and showed what I was about, the manager was just like, hey, the reason why I picked you, he had this mindset that whoever he feels needs to be in that position, he's going to put him in there. If he knows that he can do the job, he's going to put him there.
Regardless of the race.
Regardless of the race. So what happened was me showing him how good I was, my potential, or he put me in there, no matter. And that was in front of a lot of others that had that opportunity coming in the door.
Right. What would you tell the next young entrepreneur about defeating the odds, and what advice do you have to share?
The advice I have to any young person coming into the game is understand that you live in a life that has no blueprint. You live in a life that has no set sketch out. So you basically got to come in and find who you are, especially as an entrepreneur, business person. Find who you are, stay consistent to it, show people your potential, show people your potential, be in the right place at the right time, present yourself the right way, put your pride off aside, dress nice, collar shirt won't hurt you.
Right.
Be in the right place, right time, dress nice, stay clean, and people gonna give you that opportunity.
Right.
That you're looking for.
Right. Last question. If there was any circumstance you could change, what would it be? And how would it have made a difference in how you defeated the odds?
Circumstances that I could have changed.
If there is any.
If there was. It's nothing I can say that I could change. It's nothing that I can look back on and say that I would like to change. Because everything that happened throughout my journey happened for a reason. It was either to teach me a lesson to say, this is how strong you need to be in the journey that you're taking, or understanding that the roads won't be as smooth as you think it's going to be. Even after this many years of being into it, the roads are still not smooth.
Right.
It's smoother because I've been through the bumps.
Right.
It's smoother now, but I always got to have the mindset of knowing what to look out for, what to do and what not to do to keep everything smooth.
Right.
So anything to change, I don't think I would change anything.
Out of all the questions that I asked you, is there anything that you would like to share that I probably did not touch on about defeating the odds? That you could look into that camera and share whatever you want to share.
Anything that I would like to share? No. Nothing besides the fact that, just to touch on again, just knowing that there is going to be odds against you. Coming into the door, there's going to always be odds against you. I'm going to touch on it again. Just make sure whatever you do, you show the potential that you have, you show the drive that you have, and all the doors in front of you that needs to open, it has a good possibility to open for you if you show them what you're about. Sometimes you have to show that you're that much better than the person on the side of you.
Yes.
To make sure you get those opportunities and present yourself in a good way. Don't be scared to wear a collar shirt. Don't be scared to keep your hair cut. Don't be scared to smell good. Hey, all of these things that I'm mentioning, it makes a difference when you're dealing with business and the odds in life.
There you have it, Savosky Scott.
That's it.
Thank you.